Well, heidi ho, everybody. YouTube model builders of the world. Skip here, coming to you live at the Model Mania World Headquarters. Sounds impressive, doesn't it? It's really not. It's all smoke and mirrors, folks. So, the Gremlin. Remember the last video I did? I gotten this Gremlin Funny Car glue bomb that was something reminding me of my youth. One of the first models I had built back in the 70s, and I came across one, and actually I think the one I built looked even worse than this one. Pretty sure of it. I was like 8 years old, so couldn't expect much out of me then. Really can't expect much out of me now either. So Earl has really been helping me out on this. We went down some rabbit holes, figuring out some things, and one thing led to another, and our fragile little brains were getting overheated, and next thing you know, our brain cells are popping like a sheet of bubble wrap. But we were having some fun. Well, this I'm going to apologize now. This is probably going to be a long video, at least a half an hour, I'm sure. I'm sure you haven't noticed on the time counter for the video already. But we got a bunch of stuff to unpack that I've discovered. So the idea was that I was going to take this Gremlin, try and get it all apart, and restore it. And now I might be thinking of just kind of putting it back together and leave it like it is, because I've got another plan. And then it could be displayed with the box with a new one built. And I figured out that you can probably build one of these. Well, it won't be exact. It'll be a few little differences. But there's two kits you can get, and you can build a Gremlin Funny Car. And then that opened up a whole nother floodgate of other stuff you could build. And all with a certain funny car chassis. And that chassis is for the Vega. And I have a couple of these older Vegas that I found. That this one had been built. It's kind of fallen apart. I bought it because it was all there, kind of like the same reason I bought this one. I never had this kit, but I like these early Vegas. I like the front end on the early Vegas. You know, with the wide mouth grill. Kind of looks like the Camaro from 70, 71, and 2. This has always been my favorite Vega. I actually drove one of these. Well, it wasn't mine, it was my sister's, but it was always breaking and I was always fixing it, and she couldn't afford to drive the car most of the time anyway, so my brotherly duty was to thrash on it for her and keep it broke even more. It was that citrus green color, about the color of that frog, I guess, maybe more metallic-y, more like the green that's on the model box I'm going to show you. And it had wood grain. It had aluminum 4 slots or 5 slots on it. It was kind of a cool little car. I always wanted to put a small block in it and everything, and then my dad took it from her and traded it in on a new car for my stepmom. But anyway, all right, too much information. Rambling on. So I'm looking at this. This is the Gremlin, and I'm looking at that chassis. Can you hold that for me there, Earl? No? You're too busy. Yeah, I don't know what you're doing to that box, but you're awfully close to it. This chassis looked very familiar to me. And this is why. Because look at the Vega one. The only difference between these two chassis is the engine and transmission. The chassis is identical. In fact, I'm going to take the bodies off here, and we're going to put them side by side. That's a nice thing about this I have started a love affair with this particular kit. I am enamored by it. So, oh, something biting me. All right. I'll put these next to each other, side by side. Look at that. They're identical. They're exact same chassis. Everything except the engine and transmission. The Gremlin has a Hemi with a torque flight automatic, and the Vega has a big block Chevy with a 4-speed manual. So that's really the only difference. It even looks like this front engine plate might be pretty much the same. Almost the same. You could probably make it work if you had your Hemi engine out of another car. You could probably put the Hemi and everything in this chassis for your Gremlin, unless you don't mind having a big block Chevy in your Gremlin. So there's the chassis. Now this is the older one. This is the, let go, Earl. Okay, I'm gonna give you another one here. Here, you can hold this box for a minute. There you go. This is the kit that this car was, or is. And luckily, we can give thanks to Round 2, because they, and I know y'all know this kit. This is one that's out. You can pretty much get it pretty easy right now. That kit is the one you need. If you got that kit, all right, you got that kit, and let me get some things moved around here. I've got a whole bunch of stuff here. I'm trying to stage everything. We got all kinds of stuff going on here, folks. So you take the Gremlin kit, and you get you maybe this what did I say? You take the Vega kit, this Vega kit, and you get like this Gremlin kit, or any of the AMT Gremlin kits. We're going to be talking all AMT models here for a bit, or even this one. And then there's this other one with the really dumb box. I won't call it a dumb box. It's just an awkward box. There's this Gremlin too. It's a little harder to get. I hate this box. Remember AMT did some boxes like this, and they're so hard for storing in your stash because they're so awkward. They got some cool box art on them. So if you got one of these, you can use this. They're all the same. And here's our Gremlin body, and this is the Gremlin kit body from one of the, actually the first Gremlin kit I showed you there. All right. So all you got to do, I'm going to show you something here, and this brings up something else that I thought. Let's try and stay on track, Skip. So you got your Vega chassis, and you build your chassis. If you want to change the engine, you change the engine. The only other thing is you won't have these front tires and wheels, because those were only in the first kits. They later went to a regular small car tire and wheel. So all you got to do is you take this body. I would take the hood and just glue it all shut. Right? Keep it in the camera. Just glue it all shut. My preference, I mean, you could do a couple strips of styrene to put a ledge to hold the hood from falling through while you glue it all in. I did this quick little piece here. It's not like actually fit in there perfect yet, but I would just do something like this, and it gives you a nice smooth finish in here, so it's not all crappy looking, because this is, you know, this will display open, so you kind of want to make this look nice under here. You glue that all up. Once that's all glued in and dried, And your hood just sits in there and glues down. And then if it bothers you, you can fill that in, but it fits pretty nice. And if you'll notice on this body, there's a line that's all molded in from the hood openings anyway. The only difference is they don't have the wipers, so you probably want to sand the wipers off this body, and that'll work. Then all you got to do is get there's this inner body panel that's actually the hinge that just has to glue up in there. This Funny Car body from the original kit, there's a couple of locator pins. You can see those there and there. You're not going to have that on this one, so you're going to have to build your chassis, hinge this, get your body, mark your reference points, and then, you know, do your painting or whatever and mount it all up in the body. The thing about that inner part is I noticed on the Vega, it raises up right here and with a slight arch to it. Okay, and if you look on this, that is perfectly flat across that front right there. Now, I was initially thinking that was the only difference between, well, it is a difference, but I was thinking that might be the factory difference between this kit and the Vega kit. And after I got to looking at it, because what I was going to do is take and just cut that off and just make it flat all the way across from the tops of these. Just make it flat across there. So here's a new one. I marked it in red to remove the red, and then just sand it flat across the top. So this just is all flat. Just get rid of that. So then I'm looking at the stance on these two cars, and if you notice, I'll put this back together again. This is why this video is going to take so stupid long. I'm going back and forth a lot. All right, so that's pretty much there. And let's put this one on. Okay. And let's put the Vega body back on. Okay, and it's down flat on there. I don't know if you can notice or not, but the Vega front sits slightly higher than the Gremlin front. And I'm thinking whoever built this model may have removed that and made it flat. Because I'm going to show you something on the, here, I'll use the brand new, this is the current Vega body from the kit, from the new kit you can buy. And this fits up in there. There's your locators. All right. Now, when you look at this, okay, let me get it in there. Get it in there correctly. There we go. All right, it's up against the bottom of the hood area. I don't know if you can you see that? Where it's kind of, there we go. You notice it's lower back here and it's flush with the bottom of the rocker of the body here. So if you took that off, that would bring the very front of the body down just a little bit to really let those front tires kind of go up in there a little more, you know, more like kind of like that. If I really push down on it. So if you build one, even if you build this as a Vega, that's an idea you may want to check out to get your stance a little more of a rake to it. And I just discovered that. I've shot this video a couple of times, and before I just started shooting this one, that's when I figured that out. I guess it's good to make mistakes and try to redo them. So that's pretty much it. The only other thing would be your glass, your clear parts. Luckily, here's a bunch of the Vega stuff, right? That's for the engine hole, the engine cover. There's the windshield for the Vega. That's the back window for the Vega. These are the door windows. And I think that's all you'll be able to use. But here's the thing, the Vega windshield. Look at that. Vega windshield will fit right in the Gremlin. Pinky dinky dory. Look at that. And actually I was thinking you'd have to like sand down the edge a little bit so it fits up in the pillar a little better, but I think a lot of that is because of the old glue that's on this. If that was all cleaned up, that would probably fit in that windshield hole perfectly. And the back window for the Vega wagon. Look at that. The back window will fit in the Gremlin real nice too. I doubt you want the Chevy bow tie in your Gremlin. So use a new window. And this is for the door. And it does the same. It fits right perfectly. Look at that. So the only clear part you won't have is for this little quarter right here. All right. So you can either, I thought you could take, the problem with this clear plastic is it's so brittle. It's really hard to cut without breaking it. You pretty much always have to just sand it to what you want. You know, you could like flip it. That would be upside down, right? Like that. You got the angle, and you could kind of like fit it up in there, cut it short. You could make it do that. And then that way all you'd have to do, if you want these little rivets that they got molded in, is maybe do some for the pillar here. Or on these kits, let me see, yeah. If you notice, there, you can hold another kit box, Earl. There you go. You got something to do for a minute. If you noticed right here, they have this louver panel in these kits that you could fill this with. So that's an option. There's always an option. There's always something you can do. And I think that's pretty much it for the Vega, other than the Vega Gremlins. I got other ones here we're going to be popping off in a minute, like Pinto and Volkswagen and Subaru. I don't know. Anyway, so basically the two differences in the early and late Gremlin. All right, the first one is on the hood. Has a ridge running down the middle. And on the early model Gremlin, which would be like 71 and 2, 3, it's smooth. All right, and the other is on the quarter panel up here on the sail panel. The early Gremlins have these two indentations running back, and the later model Gremlins do not. It's just smooth. So that's the big differences, and the bumpers are different. Bumpers and grill are going to be different. So if you want the early style front bumper and grill, you'll probably have to try and find, you know, parts or pieces from an old kit or whatever. Maybe someone makes a resin conversion to go in there. You know, that's all up to you. It's all personal preferences. That's doing it, building a Gremlin Funny Car with the new Vega Funny Car. The other thing is on the tires and wheels. You know, the newer Vega has this little bit larger tire. It's a little bit taller. And it has like I think it's sort of like a torque thrust wheel or something. I mean, you can see it in the box art there. And we'll look at it upside down. It's got this style of wheel and tire. If you want to use the motorcycle style, I have picked up a set, the Gopher Racing dragster tires and wheels. and they're actually pretty nice. And I was thinking, well, they are taller than the see, they're a lot taller than the one on the kit. But take those off. I'm going to show you. I was thinking, well, that's going to kind of mess with the stance of this car. And let's look at these here. I mean, when you actually build the car, you might have to drill the center hole out on these to fit the spindle on these axles. Let me see you get that on there right. It'll stay on there. It'll go this way. It goes this way. So I'm going to show you. Oh, it fell apart. Stuff's all just snapped together. Okay. Put that one on. But anyway, I was going to show you here with the bigger tire and wheel, or the taller tire and motorcycle wheel. And actually, it doesn't really affect the stance a whole lot. It does raise it just a little bit. But I think I actually like that little bit, that taller one anyway. Yeah, I think I kind of like that. Personally, I like that. You know, it's all personal preference. What you like is maybe totally different than what I like. So that's that parts pack that go for racing cells. This is the tree for it. It comes with 2 slicks, and it also comes with 2 other tires that are similar to what the Vega comes with, but they're smaller diameter, slightly narrower, not by much, smaller diameter. And these, I don't know, what are those? Halabrand style wheels or whatever. I don't know, I'm an idiot, I don't really know. So don't take anything I say as the gospel. And then you got these torque thrust type of rear wheel, and this other one that I guess I'm going to say that's a Halabrand style or whatever, but yeah, whatever it is. I know I'm probably wrong. And these are pie crust slicks, so you know, they're probably not what you would see on this era of a funny car, but you know, who cares? You can always find other tires, or just use the rear tires and wheels out of the Vega, which the current kit is like that. And then you just change the front ones. This is the, yeah, there you go, go for racing. This is actually the parts tree for the wheels out of the Atlantis Moon Eyes Dragster. So if you've got the Dragster kit, this is the tree for the tire for the wheels, and it's chrome plated in the Dragster kit. And the only difference is you get the same tires and wheels, the same tires, except you don't get these tires. They don't come in the Dragster kit. Only the wheels do. So if you got one of those kits or something and you want to steal your motorcycle style tires out of that, if not, just buy one of these. You know, shop it around. Sometimes you may come across a deal. It's cheaper to buy a Moon Eyes Dragster kit, and I know it's got a lot of extra parts in it. You know, buy them for donor kits. And you know, and then you'd have them in chrome too if you want chrome. Or you know, you might be able to buy the kit cheaper, and you can buy this parts pack sometimes if you've come across the right deal. So that's all up to you. You got to shop around and do that. So the next thing for the funny car, so we remember, yeah, it's just like donor kit for your engine. Like I said, get your engine. You can get that out of another dragster or something with a Hemi. The next car I'm going to bring up is going to be, you may want Ford engines. There we go, the Pinto. Right? So you know where I'm going with this. Here you go. You can hold that. I know you like that one. Yes, don't get all slobbery on it, Earl. So for the Pinto, so here's another inner body panel out of another Vega. It was actually, because I bought 2 of these kits. This one was together. I got this one. It had been started. So parts were painted. I think this one was actually missing the valance for the front. But that's not a big deal. Now that I got this one, I may be able to get that one off and make a copy of it, and so I can complete both of them. But this is the inner part out of that. The chassis sort of started. This is up in an AMT Pinto body. Same thing with it. It would have to probably be modified just across the front right here, just like I was talking about. Flatten it down, because you can see where it's kind of up inside the rocker here, but it's kind of hanging down there. Same thing with the hood, like I was talking about with the Gremlin. Glue the hood shut, fill it in. Then all you got to do is mark your, once you get it all positioned where it needs to be get your wheels centered, because these are all the same wheelbase. All these AMTs are the same wheelbase, so that's why this chassis is a gift, because there's a lot of things you can do with this chassis. And it's not like the Polar Lights chassis that's a lot longer, because those are more the stretched out, longer bodied funny cars. This, you can actually use a stock body, and there's going to be other bodies you can probably try out. This, you could do the, what was the AMT one? The Crazy Horse. And I have never had one of those kits. I've seen them on eBay, and I've seen them, like scale mates and stuff, the box arts and stuff like that. But this chassis will fit right up in there pretty easy. You may have to trim a little bit on the edge there, sand that down so it maybe fits in there a little nicer, and do the same thing across the front here. I did find one on eBay. It's a whole race set. It's that Ford LNT hauler or whatever, and it comes. It's a kind of a rare kit. It comes with the what is this? The Crazy Horse. I think it's a Crazy Horse 2 Pinto Pinto Funny Car. And I was looking, they had all the parts laid out, and I was looking at the parts, and because I was thinking this should be flattened to fit nicer right across here, like I said to do for the Gremlin. And it looks just like this. That part has that arch in it, but like I said, when you look at it, it's like lifts the front end a lot higher. So I would take that off, and it'd probably sit on there really nice. And that's how you can do a Pinto. The thing with a Pinto is really the only glass I think you can use from the Vega for the Pinto is the windshield, which is kind of a good thing, because you need that notch in it for this part, because that's got to sit on that, right? So you need the notch in that, and that's really going to be hard to cut in a windshield if you got to cut one without destroying a windshield. But this windshield will fit in the Pinto. It's a little wide. Let me get a couple more thumbs. I only got 2 thumbs. I need 4 or 5 thumbs. There, I'll kind of push it up in there. It definitely wants to stick out the side, so you could sand, just gently, work at it. Sand these edges down to narrow this windshield up, so that it ends up fitting up inside. Hope I'm keeping this in the camera for you. You can see where it doesn't want to quite fit in there real nice. So you just keep sanding it down so it fits up in that pillar, and then I think the rest of it's going to fit perfect. So you'd have your windshield. And I also noticed on that kit, of course the hood is already filled on it because it's a funny car body. That kit, the wipers are still on the body, even though the hole is cut a little bit right there. I thought that was kind of interesting. So if you got that, that's the Pinto popper. That's y'all know the Pinto popper, right? Here, we're gonna move some more stuff, Earl. Don't get too upset with me. There we go. Don't go chewing up stuff in my drawers or anything. All right. So the Pinto popper, you use that body, and you know, again, your choice of engine, a Hemi, or find a Ford, blowing Ford engine or something for it, and you could build a Pinto funny car, which led me to checking out. Oh, same thing again. Glue the hood shut, fill in or whatever. Fit the chassis, the inner body part up in there, so that you can put it on the funny car chassis and it's hinged. Kind of get it positioned here. I don't know if I can get it to sit in there where it needs to be. There we go. Same thing with that. Definitely on this one I would flatten that down, make it fit nice. Just knocking stuff all over the place here. And this would work pretty nice. Get it centered right. There we go. Would be about there, somewhere like that. And there you go. Again, you can use the, this is the MPC Pony Express Pinto wagon. You know, it's a later front end. Be nice if you can find a way to put the earlier, like 72 3/4 front end on it for the grill and headlights, bumpers. But you can use the Vega windshield in it, and you can use the Vega back glass in it. It'll fit. And I'll show you here. Proof in the pudding. We're all going to have some pudding here. So that works like that. Yeah, it's kind of hard to hold in, but it'll definitely fit in there. You can make that fit. Again, you'll have to probably do a little bit of trim work. If I can keep it in here so you can see it. You know, just do some trimming on the edges to make it fit nice, and it'll fit right in there. So you got your back window and your windshield, and all you got to do is figure out something for your side glass if you want side windows. Of course, this kit comes with you know, the filler panels for here, so you could put those in, and then all you got to worry about is this window. And the Vega side door glass is just it's a little too short. See, even on the other Pinto, it's just a little bit shy. So that's for Pintos. So now we got Pintos covered. All right, and then I kind of contemplated dropping stuff everywhere again. All right, here we go. This is the MPC Grumpy's Vega. You know, it's more like what, a Pro Stock. It has the wheelbase is the same, but it's got an elongated opening here for the rear wheel opening. Of course, this sets up more. It's all, you know, the rear wheels are all tucked up in this one. This body is actually overall is a little bit longer, and it's also a little bit narrower than the AMT Vega body. It's doable. The hood, you know, the hood, there's two hoods. One has the hole in it, the other has a hood scoop. So the hood's going to be a lot more work, you know, if you want to fill it in or whatever. The windshield you should be able to use. So you got your cutout for this, but everything else, it's going to be a lot more work to use the Grumpy one. So I probably wouldn't really suggest this body as much, but it's a possibility if you want the fastback coupe type body. And then another one I was playing around with. This is going to be cool here in a minute, guys. All right, let me take this one apart again. Actually, I'm just going to take this off too, because this piece, you know, you'll have a new one with your new Vega kit, but we're going to put this on there. Yeah, you could make it work, but you're going to have to really modify the dog duty out of it to get it up in there. You can probably leave it alone pretty much on the sides, but definitely going to have to probably trim like right down through here on this side. Definitely flatten that down, flatten these down a little bit, really rework this on the rear wheel wells. And you could make this go in there so you can hinge your body. I sort of had it in there before, but we're going to leave that off for a minute, and I'm just going to set this up. I don't have a big mess to clean up here when I get done with this video. I'm just going to set this down here and show you the wheelbase and everything, and center the body on it here. Yeah. Would that be cool or what? Yeah, a little VW gasser. So there's another option, another body. So just, yeah, if you got bodies and they're about the same wheelbase, try them out. There's probably all kinds of other ones. These are just ones that I picked out just real quick out of my stash and everything. Yeah, that could be pretty cool, with or without the motorcycle wheels. So that was an option I was thinking about. In fact, those headers, even with the big block Chevy using the Vega chassis, the headers even work out pretty nice. That's pretty cool. So there we are. Let me get that out. What's that still doing there? All right. So in the wrap up, we're going funny car summer here. Oh yeah, there was another one I was thinking about too. Just in case, you know, the funny car is not funny enough, I was thinking about a ridiculous car. That's funnier than a funny car. What'd I do with that body? Here we go. Put this. I want you to stay there like that. I want that. I like that. I like to see that. All right, the Pacer. Yeah, the AMC puffer fish. You could actually do this one too. I think the thing was on it though that was this the one? It would pretty much work. Yeah, you'd have to. If you did this, you can do this, and it's gonna be some work, kind of like trying to use the grumpy body, because the wheelbase needs to be a little bit longer. So to actually do a puffer fish, ridiculous car, hilarious car, you would have to stretch the front of your frame and bring your front wheels forward just a little more. But you know, there's another idea. So there it is. All right, I guess we've had enough. I think we're going on 40 minutes, getting close to 40 minutes. Hopefully y'all had a cold one and opened it up and was sitting back so you had something to drink and didn't go thirsty. Of course, there's always the pause. Hopefully, maybe this gave y'all some food for thought. I know there's probably a lot more possibilities with this chassis. I really, now that after I got this Gremlin just really opened up a can of worms for me. So I had to just, this is why I get distracted and I don't get a lot of my stuff done, because I get distracted and go off on other tangents. And this was one of the things that distracted me, and I just wanted to figure this out and kind of put this all together. And as I found out, I said I wanted to share it with everybody. I know some of y'all probably know a lot of this already. I know, I should have wrote his name down. One of my commenters even mentioned that, you know, this kit for donor parts to restore this. And I had already been thinking about it, and so we had some comments on that. And I was at that time I was in the process of trying to put all this together for a video. But there we go. There's some funny car ideas, guys, gals, whatever, however else you might identify as, whatever you are. And I think that's it. I think I've covered everything. Yep, that's covered everything. I got me a little list here. Covered everything. Oh, the rear axle width. That was the other thing. So this rear axle, to me, I mean, it's probably all right, but to me it could be a little narrower. So if you really wanted to mess with that, I mean, I suppose it's a possibility. Here's the part out of a kit. It's all solid piece. I mean, there's your pumpkin part, or your differential, your ring and pinion goes all in the front here. Now there's a locator right here on each side, a notch. And that's for your rear radius arms. And then there's these spots right here. That's the locating spot for your wheelie bars. So if you wanted to narrow this rear end, you would have to narrow it somewhere in this little space right here. It'd take a little bit of doing. It'd be nicer if it was kind of hollow. You could kind of put a piece of rod in the middle to help support it. If you worked at it, you could maybe pin it too. After you get it where you want it, put a pin to put some rod in there to help make it a little bit stronger. And take like 3 millimeters out on each side. You want to be behind. You can see this part here that's raised right there. That's where your brakes and stuff, that they stop on that. So from the inside of that to just before this notch is the only room you got to really narrow this rear end. 3 millimeters on each side would basically tuck these rear wheels in, so they'd be in about a half less than they are now. So only about a half of what you see sticking out of the side would be about half what you see now if you narrowed the rear end. But I mean, it's not really a big deal. It's only if it's something that you really want to work at and it bugs you and you want to change it. But other than that, so there it is, the Gremlin Funny Car, and a bunch of other ideas. So I'm thinking about, I'm just going to keep this together like it is and build me a whole new one to go in with it, and then display it with the old original box art here. Right? Make a display with the original box and the original one, and then build a new one with a new body and a new chassis and try and make it really nice. There we go. All right, I've talked too much. If you're still awake, thanks for watching. Appreciate everybody. Appreciate comments. If you're not subscribed, go ahead and subscribe, and come back anytime whenever I got another video. And until next time, we'll catch you later.